Hi there, this is Mr. Kopitsky. Welcome to Quiz 1, Lecture 2 of our economic systems. This is Unit 1, Introduction to Microeconomics and Basic Economic Concepts. We've already talked a little bit about economics as being not only a social science, but an entire way of thinking. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Economics is seeing the world through the lens of scarcity. Scarcity, something is scarce if it is both limited and desirable. So most of our products, our resources, all the things that we create and produce are seen as both limited and desirable. Resources are also limited. We have a limited amount of labor, land, and capital. There's a great saying in economics, it's tin staffel. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Everything that's produced or created is using the resources, the scarce resources, somewhere to create that particular product. We also believe that people are generally rational actors. Bold claim in today's world. But we believe that people make choices that will achieve their greatest utility. They seek pleasure, they seek satisfaction, and that can come through utilitarian and altruistic, I should say altruistic means as well. We can get satisfaction giving and helping others, but people generally choose to do that which makes them happy instead of that which gives them pain. Companies seek to maximize profit. Maximizing profit by creating a product gives the company and the shareholders the most utility. Another thing that we need to understand is the idea of marginal analysis. We are often in economics looking at the extra, the additional, the one more. Marginal benefits versus marginal cost to determine if we should make a decision. In other words, I know I'm going to have tacos today, but how many tacos should I eat? How much benefit will I get from eating that third taco versus an additional $1.50 price? That's really where economic decision making takes place, at the margin of human behavior. How do rational people act when given a choice? Well, when their marginal benefit is greater or equal to their marginal cost, they should produce something or consume something, right? When their marginal cost exceeds benefit, they don't produce or consume something. When the cost of production exceeds the price I'm going to get in the market for my product, I'm not going to produce it generally. When the hamburger is more expensive, you say it's $10, I'm only getting $9 of perceived marginal benefit from that burger, I'm not going to buy the hamburger. It's quite simple. That's the idea of rational marginal analysis. And we talked about this next slide actually quite a bit in our introduction to economics when I did have all of you in class, at least for a time being. That was the trade-offs and opportunity cost, right? There's always a trade-off. Every course of action entails a course of action that you did not take. So if I choose to have the hamburger at Joe's hamburger stand, I can't simultaneously be at the pizzeria having a slice of pizza. The next best option for my hamburger was a pizza. That's my opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of taking this class might be working a job, might be taking another class, might be sleeping in late. Who knows what your particular preferences are. Friday night options, easy. What should we do? Should we go out with friends, stay home and watch TV, go on a date? Obviously, we're going to study economics, but the second best choice will vary for you guys. It might be go to the game. It might be go on a date. Maybe you're tired and you want to stay home and watch TV. Okay? The one we pick is our choice. The next best opportunity or alternative is our trade-off, the opportunity cost. Okay? The opportunity cost of going out on a date is what you've lost not going out with your friends. Wait a minute. I mean, studying economics. Your decision was based on comparing the marginal benefits and the marginal costs of your options. So, let's say it's Friday night. There's nothing due in econ on Monday. What's the marginal benefit of studying? And you understood the week's lesson. Probably not very much, okay? Compared to the marginal benefit, the additional benefit of maybe going to a football game and watching a friend play or something along those lines. This is a great question. Is it possible to have too much of a good thing? Is there a situation where we have more than we need of something? Well, yes and no. When we spend resources on more of a desirable goods, it means left to spend on others. So that's scarcity, okay? We can never have enough scarce resources of production, but when we allocate those resources to a desirable good, we can't produce something else. Maybe you remember the Johnson administration's paradigm in APUSH of guns and butter. Let's win the war on poverty and defeat the enemy in Vietnam. Beyond our means. We can't seem to do both simultaneously, financially or effort-wise. We can't do everything, and to do one thing, we may have to give up something else. That also applies to an individual person. Here's a great marginal analysis example of an individual who can choose to study for economics or choose to study for math. You can see the score they would get for the respective hours of study. And we can also talk about marginal benefit here, okay? Marginal benefit being the additional benefit each person receives from a particular course of action, okay? So look, if we study 1 hour for math and econ, we get a 26 and a 24, okay? Our marginal benefit is we go from a 0 to a 24 and 26%, because 26 minus 0 is 26, 24 minus 0 is 24. Let's study another 2 hours, or another hour, to make a total of 2 hours. Look at that. We jacked up our score to 48. What is the additional or marginal benefit for that second hour of study? Well, it's 22%. What is the additional benefit of studying math? Well, it's 20%. That takes me to 44 in my math score, okay? Let's go down and look at number 3. I study for another 3 hours. I get a 13 benefit from studying economics. My score goes to 61. 18 for math. Yay! I'm passing both, okay? But notice something about my marginal benefit. It's declining. My marginal benefit is going down because I've already achieved probably the greatest amount of marginal benefit by studying the first hour. After that, my marginal benefit will decline, and the rate may vary between math and economics. At some point, my marginal benefit becomes very low from studying. For instance, I study 8 hours from econ because I like econ. But look at your studying. You're studying 7 hours for economics, okay? And you have to make the decision, should I study that 8th hour? Your marginal benefit is very low. You already have an A. There may be no marginal benefit unless that test, the extra percentage points helps raise your semester test or something, semester average or something. But there's very little marginal benefit for spending the last hour studying economics, right? You're only going to go from a 97 to a 100. We have diminishing marginal benefit, diminishing utility, we'll say, from the consumption of a product. This is kind of an interesting little paradigm. So what I can do here is I can look and say, okay, I have 7 hours to study. Where should I spend my time? Where am I going to get the most benefit from my studies? And how am I going to allocate my time? Boy, I'm in kind of a conundrum. If I have 7 hours to study, right? Where would I allocate those hours? How much should I study for math and how much should I study for econ? And we can look at the payoff and the cost benefits from our particular courses of action. All right, so that is our lecture 1B. Lecture 1A we did online already. That was just a definition of economics. We just expanded those definitions and talked a little bit here about some more of the cost-benefit analysis I wanted you guys to take a look at.